Check one, check one. There we go. Shay Money, appreciate that, my homie, man. What the hell? Now I can hear me all this stuff. All right. Why are you laughing? Boy, I got people laughing at me. All right. All right, so let me repeat what I said in it. Um, Put that straight. What I said was, people, there's a lot going on in our capital. I'm not going to comment on it. I'm not. That's not what I do. Um, Good morning, Shay, but that's not what I do. I don't. I don't do that. So, I remember when the R. Kelly thing was going down, everybody was jumping all in my anal cavity for not talking about it. Um, what I do is I take lessons out of things and help you understand that part of that is what I'm talking about, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So, oh my God, yo, this can't be possible. Oh God.
Your income doesn't matter. Your age doesn't matter. Your race doesn't matter. Your geographical location doesn't matter. There's a thing that you and I are dealing with in your money, and it's called math. And none of those things I just mentioned give you a pass on math. And where people get themselves in trouble, including when I went broke many years ago because I was stupid, we get ourselves in trouble when we don't bother and do the math before we do the transaction. We're the stupid woman from San Diego who leased her dog for $5,400. We make $90,000 a year, and somehow in our brains figure out that our children deserve a $50,000 Honda SUV. And now we have to take the kids out of private school because we can't pay the payments on the SUV and the private school because we didn't do math. We're 21 years old. We buy a $10,000 car, run up $10,000 in credit card debt, and have $10,000 in medical bills and make $30,000 a year. When you make $30,000 a year, there's nowhere in that plan that the $10,000 car makes sense. There's nowhere in that plan that running up a bunch of credit card debt gives you any room to breathe. You already can't breathe. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. Our health care is provided by Medicaid, which is welfare, because we qualify. If I go back to work, we won't qualify for that. And if I go back to work, they'll have to pay for daycare. When you make $30,000 a year, there's nowhere in that plan that the $10,000 car makes sense. There's nowhere in that plan that running up a bunch of credit card debt gives you any room to breathe. You already can't breathe. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids.
Most people, most individuals in the community you call black, don't have a job and claim they strong. That man said $28,000 income with 3 kids. Shay Money says they ran SAP. The White House last. Yeah, I people. I'm gonna tell y'all this, and this is why I'm talking about what I'm talking about today when I say hate is hungry. People in life, we all have different sensitive levels. I'm sensitive to negativity. I need to get away from it. I had too much of it in my life. In addition to that, once you had success, you ain't going back to negativity. Once you've had success, you're not going to try and deal with negativity. It's a different thing going on. A lot of people, they never had success, so this is why they can dwell in negativity. They can be in relationships with negative people. They can do those things. Once you've had success, nobody stares at the sun all day. It's the reason why. There's sensitivity. Our eyes are sensitive to that light. All right. You guys can control your sensitivity levels. That's a you thing. A lot of individuals live their life and make claims that, oh, um, this person is a good person. This person is all these things, and they was just a foul individual, and they was starting off negative. No, so I. That's why I told y'all. And for anybody that want to just think this is a pop up, when Power came on last year in August, September or August, I watched one episode and they got into the killing. I said, I can't watch these shows no more. I can't. I don't want to watch nothing like that negativity. I can watch the first 48 because to me it's comedy. It really is. I love seeing guys claiming that they're all these things until they get in um, interrogation room 5, and then they're totally different people. I absolutely love it. Makes great content as well. But good morning, individuals. I'm talking about hate today. I'm talking about hate. People, hate is hungry. Hate is hungry. A lot of you people don't understand how living organisms work. Living organisms need food. Every living organism needs food. Every living organism, every negative idea, once hate has a host to act out, it gets hungry. So we're gonna talk about that today. So I'm gonna start like this. Start like this. All right. So I'm gonna start like this. When I tell you guys that the old saying of "well, white people do it" doesn't apply to us, I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean by that and what I'm talking about today. Hate is hungry. Welcome to January 7th, 2021, National Fathers League, League of Dads, WLEW, Law Talk Radio 98.3.com FM. I'm your host, Chris One Radio Group, broadcasting from home. I'm broadcasting from home. And I'm talking about hate. Now, it's the reason why I break things down the way I do. Now I'm gonna come at this from the perspective of hate. People pondering becomes more corrosive when you ponder. I say the worst. There's guys out there that want women that don't work and women that don't have a life. There's individuals that like that. Those are the worst women in the world because they sit at home and ponder all day. The worst thing is to come home to is a woman that thought about so many different things all day, and now you're you get there, and now you don't realize that you're now being part of something that's already been going on in her head for hours. So pondering. I've listened to and seen, I never heard men do it, so I have to say women. I've listened to women, bash men, like I've never heard any man bash a woman. Case in point, my mama. And the problem with people that have one perspective of just bashing, you need to counter that with love. If you don't counter it, and you ponder and you go on for decades, see the look on my face? Something is going to happen. You're going to run all the individuals out of your life. You're going to have time to ponder and sulp and just live life and saturate in your hate. Is going to ultimately get hungry because you done ran all its food away. Why do you think people that are least successful claim that need is the answer to all their issues, and give me more so is the answer to their problems than a person that gets up every day, has a routine, and been doing this for decades? Why is the person that is not successful, why and how do they come up with the perspective that they come up with? This happens because they are hungry for they are more hungry for the necessities than a person that does. So if you're a person and you sit up in the house all day and you've been doing it for decades and you're not successful, you know what's going to be successful to you? Hate is going to be successful to you. That's what's going to be successful. Hate is going to be successful. Let me go left for a second. It's in the same realm of conversation. Let me go left. I went to the dentist last year. I got my underneath the gum line cleaned. And at 51 years old then, I found out something that just blew my mind. And the dentist said that the reason why your teeth get yellow is not because of food. The reason why your teeth get yellow is because plaque is urinating on your teeth. Plaque is a living organism, and it urinates. That's why people's teeth are yellow. I thought that was interesting. My jaw dropped. I was listening to some literature about viruses about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and they were talking about the viruses that waste inside the human body, because viruses are organisms and organisms feed on, but when they feed, they have to go to the bathroom. So there are some diseases that not as bad as the virus, as there are some viruses that their waste does more damage inside your body than the virus itself. So it is my job always to marry your level of consciousness to a higher level of consciousness. Not saying I'm smarter than you. That's my job. This is what I do. Today, I'm taking a stab at it when it comes to hate. People, why, how does a person who comes up in a good life, better than I came up with, had a mother and father in the house and and had all his needs, how does that person end up wanting to kill their parents? Watching the show Deadly Kids. How does a kid, how does a kid who had everything, how does a person shoot the mother and father, the mother died, shot the father, then turn around and gave the gun to the father? So he thought that the father was going to be so outraged that the father was going to shoot him. The father didn't. He ran. How does a person get to that point? They get to that point because there was something going on in that child that manifested that he needed to feed. He needed to feed it. People, when somebody get an attitude with you, it's not by accident. Understand this. I wrote a book. And the name of the book is Mad. And in that book I said, I can make you a sandwich, I can make you a cup of coffee, but the one thing I can't do is make you mad. These are the things that I believe. You'll probably get into an argument with somebody and they'll say, no, you made me mad. No. People, we all have mad inside of us. We all have anger inside of us. You're not going to use what I say, bend it, twist it, and all that. Then now say, well, because I'm going to perceive what you said as the wrong thing, you made me mad. I can give you guys an example. I used to date this woman. And this woman, me and her went to a store to get a sandwich. And we goes to get the sandwich. I order my sandwich, and they're like, you want this, you want that. Yeah, cool. When she ordered the sandwich, she was a 5'8" and kind of stout. When she ordered her food, you want double meat, you want triple meat, you want cheese on that. And everything that they said, she said, yeah. I said, that didn't offend you. She twisted it. I asked her a question. It was a question to say that, I would have been offended if they would have looked at me and assumed that I was a hungry whore and just offered me all these extra things. When we got our sandwich, hers was like this wide. Mine was like that. Hers was like, I'm looking at, and then on top, she finished it before me. Jesus Christ. I guess they was right, But here's an individual that is the one that ultimately had animosity towards me. She got mad at me for asking her that. She got mad at me. If I was to ask her, would you say what you think she would? I didn't ask her, but had I asked her, she would have said, "You made me mad by saying that I was greedy." That it is not what I said, but I get it now more than I ever did. When testosterone speaks, estrogen they hear it differently, and now I didn't say that, and you're bending your face up like, what the hell is going on here? My man Maxwell is up in this joint, and Leonard is here too. He says, "What's going on, bro? What's going on to you?" Max said, they want to upsell everyone. They won't. I think you messed that up. They won't. Oh, they want to upsell to everyone. I get you. Yeah, they want to upsell everyone. Of course they do. But here's an individual that used what I said to her to get mad and try and execute hate. And hate is hungry. Hate will use anything. Hate will twist it. Hate will find a way to make something that you said relate to them when it didn't. Hate will use ignorance. Hate will use a ton of things because hate is always hungry. And you have to feed it. You have to feed it. You have to. You have to feed it. You have to. Um, I went to go see my mom and I was shocked because I mean we don't talk about what I do and she just went in. Nonetheless, I know where it came from. So if I can say this, if I can go left and say this, Wendy Williams said a very long time ago. Wendy Williams said, "Success is a good prescription for pain." Yeah, it is. Um, it is success. Um, People, you always must recalibrate your wants in life so you can strive for different things. Um, Buying this house was the first time I don't have nothing to commemorate it. All the cars that I own, with the exception of my 7 Series, and my everyday car, are um, were all things that were brought to commemorate something that I established. All of my jewelry, all of my watches, all of my rings, they are all brought to commemorate something. I can say this ring represents, that car represents. Um, I don't just go out and buy stuff. And I wanted to get a convertible. I wanted to commemorate when I bought this house. I wanted to buy a convertible. I wanted to buy an SL 550, a 500. That's what I wanted. Um, a Z4 looks nice too, but it got to be a white one. But nonetheless, I wanted to commemorate. I wanted to commemorate that by a convertible. So when I do get a convertible, it'll be for that. Nonetheless, people uh, that aren't successful, people that are failures, instead of getting themselves around somebody that is successful, they normally have animosity, which is a great platform to hate somebody, and then their failure starts to stride. You don't want your failure to reach a stride. So I can tell you guys this as a 52-year-old man. Individuals that lived a life and that are not successful, they know it and they are harboring hate. Uh, I had an individual call me up last year, because this is 2021, called me up last year and asked me that I still own properties in New Jersey. And was like, I done filled out about 12 applications and I keep getting denied because I got so many evictions. And I'm like, and you thought calling me was the answer to all that? And I'm like, no, no. And this is an individual that husband and been her husband been in jail since we've been adults. We broke up when I dated her when I was in my teens because she used to hang out with all the knucklehead dudes. Um, we in our 50s now. Nothing's changed. And this person now is now fully engulfed and fully saturated in all the mistakes she made in life. And what do you think? You think she's sitting home saying, "Boy, I'm glad I need to move, but I can't because um, I can't get nobody that will rent me an apartment. Of course, she's not saying that, but she knows her situation and she hates it. She hates it. Max says, "Don't save her. She doesn't want to be hate. She doesn't want to be saved." Well, she's married, so calling me for help is a hell no. People, I got a thing with me. Call me stupid. I don't help nobody. I don't help couples. You know, I don't. Um, my friend, rest in peace, Loretta Williams. I'm her son's godfather. Um, her and her husband were separated, and her husband got back together. I let her use my brand new van. I let her use it. I only had it a week. I let her use it from July to about December. The first 1,000 miles or so she put on it. But when her husband got back together, I was like, I need my car. She was like, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not how that works. Your husband is here now. That's his job. We never had sex or nothing. That's just how I roll. That's just how I roll. Um, Everybody would think different. Individuals say it don't matter. I don't think two people should be calling on the help of one. I mean, it's just double the power. Um, that's how I feel. So I would never help a married woman. Never. I don't care if I live to be a million. Um, One of the things that I told this knucklehead that live across the street from me, I don't talk to another man's woman. I'm not going to be move on the block, see all these women down here, see all these big booties, and be like, hey baby, hey baby. I told that individual 5 weeks after we finally introduced ourselves to each other, the reason why you spoke and I was giving you the cold shoulder is I don't know nobody around here. I don't speak to another man's woman. My morals run deep. Women that in a relationship with me, they'll love some of them, and some of them they'll hate. But my morals run deep. I'm not changing those things for nobody. So I'm not helping her. I don't. I'm not. She's married. Anytime an idiot is married to somebody in jail, that's a super dumb idiot. That's a super dumb idiot. I ain't got nothing to say to that. So, but success, individuals at this stage, at this age, that aren't successful, that's the old perspective of the grumpy old man. Um, Dude that I was friends with before, we ain't friends no more. He's grumpy and old. Why? Failures. He got a whole bunch of stockpile of failures. So if you decide when people take on projects, people do things that they know it's not they know they shouldn't be doing. And what you ultimately end up doing is what you ultimately end up doing is you start fabricating the good parts of things because there are no good parts there. By the time you get out of that relationship, like I tell my lady, 90% of the women of color brains are fried. From the perspective of it was cool to just be living. I'm grown. This is what you hear a lot. I'm grown. Appreciate those thumbs up, y'all. And don't realize that they're stockpiling failures. And now they 50 years old and they burnt out. I love my mom. My mom is burnt out. And I love me. Forgive me for loving me. But I love me, and what I am not is um, I am not interested, and I never will be. I am not interested in helping someone sort out their hate. I'm a successful. Um, I have 5 or 6 things that I want to do this year. You got to always change. If it's your premise to constantly run the same thing back year after year after year, you're comfortable, you're not growing, and that's just it. Um, you know, I have a childish mentality. When I'm in a relationship, I want to run around like little kids. I want to just be happy-go-lucky, but be adults. Um, and I don't see that with a lot of people. A lot of people are burnt out. A lot of people are on this hamster wheel, Change things in your life, and you'll get a different perspective. Success and a lack thereof it will real hate. But I'm talking about hate this morning, how hate is hungry. Hate gets hungry like everything else. A lot of you guys, you find yourself in a relationship with a person, with a woman that has a lot of hate. And like I said before, when you're dealing with somebody that have a certain perspective about you, this is how it goes. So you meet the individual and you say, I'm not about the attitude. Good. I ain't about the attitude neither. Cause I'm. Oh, this is the. Give me a second. People, when y'all hear a woman say, "I'm too blessed to be stressed," hit the fucking hills. Hit the fucking hills. Let me tell you something. Hit the hills. Let me tell you something. When you're successful, you don't have to say it. What's up, Davey? And I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean when I say that. All right. All right. When you hear, "I'm too blessed to be stressed," hit the fucking hills. All right. Run, because that's a lie. All right. Let me tell you something. Y'all heard me tell y'all all the things that I have. What you never heard me say is how much money I make. Right? I got a friend of mine, the one that I said we ain't friends no more. And that dude, every time I see him, hey Smitty, man, hey man, got a new truck on the road, man. Got a new truck on the road. Hey Smitty, paid 8,000 for the truck. Smitty, truck gonna make me 150,000. Okay. But you got two other trucks on the road, right? Yeah. So that's almost a half $1 million. Million. But all his cars are old. He was at a buy here, pay here car lot last year and didn't get approved. The dude is a bum. You go past his house, he got nothing but trash cars in his yard. But he brags about how much money he made. If you made $500,000, you'd have a Ferrari in your damn driveway. He got a 2002 Porsche Cayenne that his ex-wife brought. All the cars he brought are raggedy. I seen him driving the Porsche Cayenne about 2 months ago, and I didn't know it was him. But as I was driving, I seen a Porsche, and it was just bouncing in the back. When it's just bouncing in the back, it's bouncing, baby. That's because the shocks are bad, and you're riding on the springs. For those that don't know, shocks push the car up. Springs absorb the downward motion, and then the shock push it back up. If you take the shock out of the car and the car is now riding on the spring, you probably seen some people down the road. You driving and the car's just bouncing. That's because their shocks are busted. So I was driving and I seen a Porsche just bouncing down the road, and I'm looking at the Porsche. I'm like, yo, Porsche, the truck. I'm like, yo. Ironically, it got right to where I was making my U-turn. I pull up on the side, and it was my ex-friend. I said, holy smokes, and bust a U-turn. Here's a guy that claimed he make a $500,000. People, I'm in my Toyota Corolla every day. I got $1,000 watches, $800 watch frames. I don't feel a need to indulge. I don't have to show off for nobody. I don't have to tell nobody nothing. And I damn sure don't got to tell nobody how much money I make. So if you got to sit there and you're going to be like, I don't need no nigga this, I don't need that, because I'm too blessed to be stressed, hit the fucking hills. How the heck did that happen? All right. One thing is when you guys are talking to somebody, and this goes for everybody, get to know their failures. You better get to know their failures. People, I have a series of questions that I ask. They're coded. And one of the questions that I ask is, what was the worst thing you ever did? I ask, what was the worst thing you ever did? And you ask somebody that to see two things. You're checking to see how truthful they are, and you're checking to see if they're going to mention something that they are they going to make a connection to something that they told you before. So I'll give you an example. People, the worst thing that I ever did was have a child. Worst thing. Normally, the worst thing you ever did brings you an influx. It brings you back failure. So the worst thing you ever did wouldn't be buying a car, uh, paid it off, and then you tried to resell it and didn't get no money for it. That's not a bad. Now, if you say I brought a car and 2 weeks later I tried to sell it and it was worth, I brought a car for 10,000, tried to sell it 2 weeks later, it was only worth 500. Yeah, that'd be a bad thing. But if you listening to somebody and you notice that they've been through something, or should I say they did something, and it took a lot from them, and they don't mention it, you're dealing with a dancer, a tippy toer. You are. You got to get to know somebody's failures, because when you get to know somebody's failures, you'll understand their pain. And this is why I don't let no person make a mockery of what I've been through. If you don't like the fact that I got to get on here and speak facts about women, I don't give a fuck about you. I just hope you ain't got no kids. I'm not going to say, oh, well, that's too bad. Go listen to this. No, I'm coming back with the insults. I'm not going to let nobody make a mockery of all that I've been through. Like I said, the worst thing I ever had, worst thing that I ever did was have a child. Worst. Hands down. There's nothing close. The one thing that I told you guys before is the greatest gift of man. A woman turned around and made it the worst thing. And the unfortunates about people when they hear me speak is I can validate it. I can solidify. There's no buts. There is no, you got to understand. The worst thing that I ever did was have a child. Worst thing. It's just that people won't say that. So everything that I talk about when I do speak, it's from the perspective of having a child with a woman and then going through all that I've been through. And guess what? Going through all that I've been through and nobody acknowledging that a woman is even capable of being mad. I have talked to people that acted like it's just no way impossible a woman could do something mean. And then like I listened to one individual, I told one individual, and she said, "Trust me, your child's mom had a way out." I'm like, you don't even know her, but they just want to say things are good. Well, I appreciate that because I'm about to double up on you. I'm not the one to get into a conversation with, listening to one of my videos and then want to inject a perspective. Yeah, but because you said that, and I'm gonna annihilate you. I'm gonna annihilate you. You don't know what rocks you unturning. If you don't want to believe this, ask my mom. You know, I said then and I said now. I don't believe in individuals who can watch my videos and come up with a perspective of, I understand what you're going through. I believe that all of my videos spawn hate. That's why I'm the hated one. I beat them to it. Had an individual yesterday, you can't spell. I was in special ed. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that an insult? But you guys got to know. You can't sit down there and be dealing with a woman with 3 kids by 3 different dudes and ask her what's the dumbest thing you ever did, and she say, I got a job working at a hamburger joint and I'm a vegetarian. What? You can't. And please don't let no dummy tell you children are a gift from God. Children are a blessing. Don't let nobody tell you that garbage. The ability to have children are the blessing. And if anytime you hear a dummy say that children are a blessing from God, normally the idiots that make mistake, normally the idiots that that surrendered to coochie. Normally the individuals that surrendered to coochie to a no good nigga, that's the end game. Oh, children are a blessing from God. No, they ain't. And if you don't think so, go ask that couple that can't have kids. Go ask them. Hey, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I understand that. Third try, huh? Yeah. Well, children are a blessing from God. So you know what that does? That tells them that they ain't blessed. You just spit on them. Me and my lady, we was watching a show the other night, and I just couldn't bring myself to give a conclusion about children that committed crimes. And I said, I wouldn't say that to that lady. What I'm saying, I wouldn't say that to her. And then another lady about 10 minutes later says, this is something that I wouldn't say, but blah, 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 blah. I said, see, I tend to have empathy, but individuals listen to me and they act like, oh no, you just always spewing hate. Nah, I'm not always spewing hate. I'm just, I just honestly, I understand my words when they leave my mouth. And when people say, you just talk this way or you just talk, no, it's the way you're receiving it. Because there is not one person on this planet that can say, one woman that I've dated that cursed me out to say, yup, and he cursed me out back. I cursed him out and he said, you finished? And walked away. Girl, what happened? I thought he was coming back. Girl, I never seen him again. I know me. I know me. I know me. So understand that. Understand that. You need to know. There are. Let me just say this. I got 3 minutes. Appreciate that. My man Dave said I just shared the video on Facebook. I'm gonna say this. I, me, I don't connect with nobody physically. I connect with people spiritually. My dad was like that too. My dad was like that too. My dad, when he was dying, my brother went to go see him, and my aunt told me that my dad was looking at him with distrust. And I said, for real? And she said, yeah, your dad told me that your brother was back on drugs. I was like, really? My dad could look at you and tell if you was on drugs, have used drugs in your life. My dad used to. I have that gift now, thank God. But I'm gonna tell y'all when I realized I developed it. Because like I said, I can only connect with people spiritually. When you connect with people physically, you're now going to be blinded by a lot of variables, things in their life. I don't connect with nobody spiritually. I have a woman now. She said she's voluptuous. I wouldn't. Now I'm not back in the I love voluptuous woman driving seat. It's what I'm dealing with. I have many of girl. My ass is big and he ain't even. Yup, under my belt. And so when if I can tell you guys a story right quick, me and my daughter at that time, we went to go get something to eat. And we went to go get something to eat, and it was a buffet type thing. And we got the drink out of the thing, and she got a Snapple, which is nice and sweet, and I had got a vitamin water. And my daughter at that time said, "Daddy, I want to taste your drink." She drank it. She said, "Ilk, Daddy, that has no taste." I said, Baby girl, I don't eat or drink for taste. I drink for health. She put her Snapple back and got a vitamin water. Around me, she was Miss Healthy Two Shoes or Miss Healthy Three Shoes. And so one day, so I goes and get her, and I looked at her. I said, "You drink a lot of soda, don't you?" No. What I said was, when you with your mother, you drink a lot of soda, don't you? She said, yeah. She gave me the sad face, yeah. Yeah. I said, you know how I can tell? No. I said, I can see the soda in your skin. And it was when I said that, I said, wow, I am my father. Now, let's talk about that for a second. I just talked earlier about my morals. My morals won't allow me. I said I connect with people spiritually. The reason why a lot of people have, I don't know if it's a gift, I just call it sense. A lot of people have it, but you know why theirs haven't developed? Theirs haven't developed because they broadsided a lot of their natural born senses with mortal infatuations. Mortal infatuation. Girl, I gotta go to the club. I gotta be up in the club. Yo, my nigga, I got this beat, this and all that. And what happens is you stain your brain with all this garbage, and your natural instincts for things don't develop. All of my senses are developed. All of mine. All of mine. I can tell what you say, why you saying it. I know why you saying it. I know why you're saying it. And here's what I do. I don't sit. This is why when people say things to me, I don't respond. They think I don't respond because they told me something. No, I'm backtracking where this idea even started in your head. When my mom was telling me what she was telling me last year, she didn't know that as she was talking to me, my brain said, we got us a problem, ran a diagnosis, and I went back. And I probably went all the way back down to 2009, 10. And then you can just now all the other hateful comments in 2013 and 2015, 2017, all the things, all the lack thereof, being a mother like she should have, all of those things lit up like a Christmas tree. And I didn't say nothing because I knew in order for me to answer her properly, I would have her denying. Because I would have said, so in 2009, and she would have been like, we're talking about what we're talking about now. No, we're not. You want to think we're talking about what we're talking about now. That's my gift. That's my gift. Sorry, that's my gift. Nope, can't drill a basketball. I can't rap. Can't dance like MC Hammer. But my thing that I do, I'm not gonna let nobody tell me I'm wrong. I'm not gonna let me tell you, oh, you just think you. I'm not gonna do that because that's what happens. Now I just sat there and listened to people. Okay, okay. So I connect with people from the spiritual perspective. I do. I can tell when I'm talking to somebody that was in the military. I can tell. I can tell when I'm talking to somebody that's been to jail. I can tell when I'm around somebody. I can tell when I'm talking to somebody that's on drugs. I can tell somebody that was on drugs, that was on drugs in the past. I can tell. I can tell when I'm talking to somebody that is successful. I can tell when I'm talking to somebody that's in love with themselves. And I don't mean love with themselves with every 5 minutes they looking in the mirror. I'm talking about people because when you find it in the youth, it's more concrete. I can tell. I can tell. You ain't trying to fight with everybody. My ex friend, dude I ain't friends with no more. That dude is a miserable individual. He's miserable. He's miserable. And I can tell when I'm around him after the fourth word that came out his mouth. I can tell. It reeks of it. It reeks of it. He tries to to why does this thing? He tries um to act as if no, I'm 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 okay. You're not okay. I go up to Jersey. I see my teacher, which is now my mentor, Mr. Jefferson, Jefferson's Cafe. Dude got over 40 cars. I leave him, go see my man Al. Al got 16 cars. I go talk to these guys. It's energy. It's energetic. We just talk about things. We back and forth. We don't see each other for 5, 6 years a clip apart. We hook back up. It's yo, what? And talking for hours. We talking to somebody who's a failure. 3 minutes into talking to him. Hey man, check this out, man. I gotta go. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I know. I know. Call him on the phone. Hey man, I'll call you right back, man. I'm over here. I'm over here, man. I got this truck, man. We looking at this new truck. All right, call you back. Call you back. Never call you back. Every time I call this dude, out of the 100 times that I've called this dude in the 30 years that I've known him, 85 of them was call me backs based on I'm doing something crazy up in the business echelon. But then when you look at his look, why? Why? People, I'm telling you, you're in a relationship with somebody and they got hate in their life, leave them. You owe yourself better. Just leave them. I ain't going to tell you go to therapy. Leave them. Then talk to them when you left because they ain't going to hear you if you say, listen, I'm tired of all this arguing. Well, they going to push it back on you. Just leave them. Just leave them. Um, when I'm going to end it with this. People, when we look back on cave people, we may look at their lives and say, damn, living in a cave with a spear, with an oar, killing buffaloes. Now, I don't know if I wanted that life, brother. Let me tell you, those were the happy times. I assure you of that. I told my woman yesterday, I got to tell you something. Existing is expensive. Just existing is expensive. Just existing. I had a dude that used to come around and cut my grass when I first got this house, and I said, "Hey, what's your phone number?" He gave me his phone number, and I called him, and it didn't go through. I said, "Yeah, I'm calling you now." He said, "Oh, my phone only works when I'm around Wi-Fi." I worked at McDonald's last year. Took a little thing at McDonald's. I'm telling dudes about cell phone plans and this and all that. Oh, I got to connect to the Wi-Fi before I go online on my phone. You don't got Wi-Fi at home? No, I don't have Wi-Fi. Oh, such and such. Did you see the game last night? Man, I don't got cable. What? I think when I did that experiment last year, it helped me understand where I'm at. I was talking to my man James, and I was like, James, your problem is you think a lot of people are like us, moved up in life as life went on, and I took a hit. As life moved on, they moved. No, there are people that are still stuck back in the '80s. Our situation in the '80s when we ain't have no heat, when we were wasn't successful. To understand that. If you're around somebody and they constantly failing at life, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're trying to get that idiot to do right, you're trying to get them to do right, the right thing, no. You stop trying to have them do right and you do right by yourself and leave them. Leave them. You're in a relationship with an individual and you're taking care of her kids and she always got something to say. When you chastising her kids, leave her. Leave them. Leave them. Leave them. Leave them. Leave them. I told individuals, there are individuals that are real high on themselves, and they oh I had an individual last year introduce me some love game and tell me all this stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna pass on that, and When you know how us men do when we talk about women, if they got a big booty, yep, she got a big booty. Well, I would just fuck her then. I would just fuck her then. Oh, I want to get all up in that big booty. People, uh, uh, a big booty is not something that's limited to women here in Virginia. Ain't that right, baby?